So welcome back. This is our lecture 3 of income from salaries for assessment year 2022-23 for CMA intermediate December 2022 attempt. ठीक है, दिसंबर अटेम्प्ट के लिए ये बैच चल रहा है. Okay, so we will start from allowances now. Okay, so we're going to start from allowances. Firstly, what is an allowance? It's a fixed quantum of money given regularly in addition to salary to meet a particular requirement. So in short, okay, this is the technical definition. Okay, so generally what we'll say, it is a fixed amount or percentage of money for a particular purpose. Okay, for a particular need it will be given separately. Okay, so for example, dearness allowance, one of your allowances, dearness allowance, which is given for increased cost of living. Okay, so your DA percentages is based on cities. Cities are divided into tier 1, tier 2, tier 2, tier 3 cities. Okay, and tier 4 are there. So basically, if you are in tier 1 city, your cost of living will be more. Okay, just to sustain for one family, you might say require in a tier 1 city, you might require 20,000, 20K. Same thing, the same standard of living in tier 2 city, you might be able to do with, let us say, 14,000. And in tier 3, you can do it in 10,000 like that. So which is why the allowances also vary. Okay, that's called dearness allowance. In Hindi, we call it a mehengai bhatta. Okay, so dearness allowance is given for increased cost of living. So let's see now what are the various types of allowances. One is general allowances. Okay, there are two way of classifying it. One is general allowance, another one is special allowance. Okay, so general allowance would be HRA, CCA. HRA is house rent allowance. Okay, so we have referred to HRA many times in this chapter. So we'll see what HRA is and how it's how the deduct exemption is calculated. Okay, CCA or city compensatory allowance. Okay, this is actually this is given separately apart from your dearness allowance. When I told you that tier 1, tier 2, okay, cities, this. Okay, so many times what happens is the adjustment is not fully given with DA, but when your city changes, okay, they just give you a CCA, which is called as city compensatory allowance. So if you are saying tier 1 city, say you are in tier 2 city, you have been transferred to tier 1. Okay, so they will give you some additional amount for increased cost of living. That is called a city compensatory allowance. This is fully based on definition of tier 1, tier 2, tier 3 and tier 4 cities. Okay, then next is tiffin allowance, of course, for eatables, medical allowance, servant allowance and entertainment allowance. Okay, we'll be discussing all that. And then comes the special allowances. Okay, next we call it as special allowances. Okay, there are two sections here, right? 1014 subclause 1 and 1014 subclause 2. Okay, so in 1014 subclause 1, what all come is your transfer allowance, daily allowance, okay, conveyance allowance, assistant allowance, professional development allowance, also called as research allowance, okay, and uniform allowance. So we'll discuss each one of these. These 6 things, okay, come under 1014 small Roman 1, this one basically. Okay, here the specialty is your allowance, the deduction depends on actual expenditure. Whatever expenditure you have done, up to that extent it will be exempt. For example, if you are getting allowance of 10,000 and you have spent 8,000. Okay, you have spent 8,000. So this 8,000 will be exempt and remaining 2,000 will be taxable. Okay. So this procedure is followed in these deductions. Okay. 1014 subclause 1. Okay. Right. So these particularly we'll discuss all these little later. And then next is this is also special allowance. Okay, but here uh, deduction doesn't depend on your expenditure. Okay, so how much will be exempt is already given in statute and you have to follow that. ठीक है, जैसे पहले केस में हमने देखा यहाँ पे आप जितना खर्च कर रहे हो वो एग्जेम्प्ट होगा, यहाँ पे ऐसा नहीं है। एग्जेम्प्ट अमाउंट स्टैट्यूटरी है, दिया गया है, उतना ही एग्जेम्प्ट रहेगा। आप ज्यादा खर्च करो या कम खर्च करो फर्क नहीं पड़ेगा इसमें। ठीक है, so in this what all come is children education allowance, hostel allowance, truck drivers allowance, transport allowance, tribal area allowance, special compensatory allowance, and border area allowance. Okay, so again we'll discuss each one of these. Okay, the next is in allowances. So what are we doing today? We're doing allowances. Okay, so we're doing the topic allowances. So this one, we have already talked about this. I told you it will come in many places, correct? Allowances to a government employee being an Indian citizen working outside India. It is exempt. Okay. So we know what we had seen earlier is salary. Salary is deemed to, for such a person, government employee being an Indian citizen working outside India. Okay. For such a person, salary is taxable, deemed to accrue or arise in India. Okay, but allowances and perquisites are exempt. Okay, for this kind of people. Government employee being an Indian citizen working outside India. Next is allowances received from UNO. Okay, next is allowances received from UNO, United Nations Organization. Okay, so any allowance or any payment, any kind of emoluments you receive from UNO is exempt. Right, next is compensatory allowance under Article 222(2) of Constitution. This is given to judges. Okay, when judges are transferred from one place to another, they get this allowance for compensating them, and they get it till retirement. Okay, if a judge is transferred, say from city A to city B, he'll be given this compensatory allowance, and he will get it till the end. Okay, so that is this allowance. It is fully exempt from tax. Now this is again for judges of High Court and Supreme Court. It is called a sumptuary allowance, and we had done a small discussion on sumptuary allowance already, right? So sumptuary allowance is what? It is kind of entertainment allowance, I said. Okay, but it is not, you cannot technically call it entertainment allowance. Okay, because judges do not entertain inspectors and others. Okay, so right, so that is called as, that's why it has a different name, right? Otherwise it would be derogatory to judges if we call it entertainment allowance, right? It's called a sumptuary allowance, right? It is exempt. ठीक है, यहाँ पे हमने ये देखा है यूएन से कुछ भी जो भी एमोलमेंट्स मिलते हैं सब एग्जेम्प्ट होते हैं. ओके, सो देन ये जो है आर्टिकल 222(2) ये वाला जो है ये ट्रांसफर पे मिलता है जजेस को. ठीक है, तो और ये एग्जेम्प्ट होता है. और लास्ट हमने देखा सम्चुरी अलाउंस जो कुछ जो जजेस को मिलता है क्योंकि कोर्ट रूम के काफी प्रोसीडिंग्स उनके घर में होते हैं, तो जो लोग आते हैं उनकी चाय पानी वगैरह करना पड़ता है, उसके लिए ये मिलता है. ओके, एंड देन अलाउंस टू टीचर और प्रोफेसर फ्रॉम सार्क मेंबर स्टेट्स. ठीक है, This is exempt, subject to conditions. We'll see the conditions below. ठीक है, कुछ खास नहीं है conditions basically. तो सार्क इज साउथ एशियन एसोसिएशन ऑफ रीजनल कोऑपरेशन. इसमें 8 कंट्रीज होते हैं. ओके, सारे एशियन इंडिया के आसपास के जो भी है, आपके पाकिस्तान, श्रीलंका, ओके, लेटेस्ट अफगानिस्तान भी आ गया है अभी. ओके, तो उससे पहले 7 कंट्रीज थे इसमें, 7. अब अफगानिस्तान आ गया तो 8 हो गए हैं. Now we have got 8 member states of SAARC. Okay, so all the Asian countries, all our boundary countries mostly. Okay, it's I think Sri Lanka, Pakistan, and Bangladesh, India, Afghanistan, Maldives, and a couple of more. Okay, maybe Bhutan. So eight countries are there. Okay, in SAARC. So now what happens when a teacher or professor from any other SAARC member country, he is coming to India. Okay, we give him or her an exemption of whatever salaries and all, whatever earning is there of that particular teacher professor. We exempt it if the other member state is also exempting it for our teachers. If our teachers are going there, right? So it's basically a 2-year period which is seen generally. Okay, so the rules, we will see the rules for that. Okay, so basically it is something which we are reciprocating. We are also giving and they are also giving. Okay, so our teachers will go there and teach, and their teachers can come here and teach, or they'll do some research programs or things like that. Okay, it is for that. राइट, तो अलाउंस में ये एग्जेम्प्ट है. तो आपको बस ये दिया रहेगा यहाँ पे कंडीशंस फुलफिल्ड करके. ओके, राइट. सो देन राइट, टैक्स ट्रीटमेंट ऑफ वेरियस अलाउंसेस ये देखेंगे. इसमें विल जस्ट सी इन शॉर्ट सम डेफिनेशंस. ओके, now these allowances are always fully taxable. What we are going to see is always fully taxable. CCA, okay, for extra expenditure for posting at a particular place. Okay, जैसे मैंने बताया था आपको, if you are moving to a higher tier city, you will get CCA. Okay, tiffin allowance for expenditure on tiffin and all that, right, for eatables. So medical allowance for medical expenses, servant allowance, okay, expenditure for servant for personal purpose. Okay, here we are talking about servant for personal purpose, fully taxable. All these are fully taxable. Okay, all of these are fully taxable. Non-practicing allowance is also fully taxable, given to compensate professionals for restriction on private practice. Okay, like for doctors, government doctors, for not doing private practice, they are given this allowance. Okay, so it is fully taxable. Warden or proctor allowance given to hostel wardens and proctors. Deputation allowance. Okay, this is something where sometimes you're sent on deputation. Okay, for a small period like 3 months, 6 months, you have to go to some other city. Okay, or some other office and work. Okay, where something new is being started. So you are a person of the technical department, so you have to go there and help in everything getting started. So you have to go and stay there. Only then it will happen. So then you get deputation allowance. It's for temporary displacement. Okay. Entertainment allowance, we have already dealt with it. Government employees get deduction. Correct. And what is the definition of government employees for entertainment allowance? कौन कौन आते हैं गवर्नमेंट एम्प्लॉयज में? लोकल अथॉरिटी भी आती है ना?
Local employees are, in this case, local employees are not government employees. Only state government and central government employees get deduction.
Very good. Okay. So only SG and CG employees. Okay. They are government employees for entertainment allowance. Right. So now we will talk about HRA. So we've already talked a lot about HRA, okay, in various things where we said meaning of salary is HRA salary, correct? So now, so what is HRA? Okay, house rent allowance. It is basically house rent allowance. So when an employee lives in a rented house, okay, he gets house rent allowance. One major rule is if you have house on the house in the same place as work. House means own house. Okay, own house in same place as work. Okay, then HRA is fully taxable. It's not that HRA will not be given. Anybody can give HRA. Okay, it's just an allowance. We're talking about exemption. If you have own house in the same place as work, then HRA will not be exempt. Okay, this one thing you have to remember. It is okay if you have own house in some other city. Okay, then you can get HRA exemption. Okay, so leased is exempt. Okay, for period in which rented accommodation is occupied. So it means that you will get exemption only for the period when you occupy rented house. Okay, if you are occupying rented house for 8 months, okay, and for 4 months you are having own house, let us say you have bought own house. Okay, so your HRA exemption you have to calculate only for this 8 months period. Okay, then what is exempt now? Let us see. One is actual HRA received. Okay, actual HRA received. What is your allowance, right? Next is rent paid in excess of 10% of salary. Okay, that means rent paid minus 10% of salary basically. This is rent paid in excess of 10% of salary means rent paid in excess of, in this place I can just put minus. Rent paid minus 10% of salary. Okay, so this should be a positive amount basically. Okay, so this is second thing. So out of this, least is exempt. Okay, all three, least is exempt, lowest. Last one is 40 or 50% of salary. 50% is for metro city. Okay, so and 40% is for all other cities. So we've got 4 metro cities, correct? Mumbai, Delhi, Kolkata, Chennai, Bangalore, Hyderabad. Okay, these two are not metro cities. Okay, you only have 4 metro cities. When it comes to metro cities, okay, metro cities, there are only 4 in India: Mumbai, Delhi, Kolkata, and Chennai. Okay, others like Bangalore and Hyderabad, okay, they are not classified as metro cities. Fine. So if your house is, if you are basically working in any of these 4 cities, okay, then it will be 50%. Okay, 50% of salary will be taken here. Otherwise, 40%. For any other city, it will be 40%. Right? And this 40 or 50% depends on the place where house is situated, not place of employment. Okay. So this will be taken as where your it will depend on where your house is situated. Okay. Where you are basically staying. Okay. That will be seen. Right. So now, so these are the basics of HRA. So apart from this, what we have seen is additional to this is one thing is if you have own house at the same place as work, okay, you have got own house in the place where you are working, then it will be fully taxable. Okay, this is one important point apart from this. Okay, so let's see now one problem. First problem. Okay, so we have couple of problems here. After doing those two problems, you'll be quite comfortable with the concept of HRA. ठीक है, दो प्रॉब्लम्स करेंगे. यहाँ पे हमने क्या देखा है, HRA में तीन लीस्ट ऑफ द थ्री एग्जेम्प्ट होता है. पहला आपका एक्चुअल HRA, सेकंड रेंट पेड माइनस 10% ऑफ सैलरी, 40 और 50% ऑफ सैलरी. अच्छा, यहाँ एक चीज तो और बताना मैं भूल गया. व्हाट इज सैलरी? Meaning of salary is what we have been studying so far many times, correct? It's basic plus, we'll say DA, if forming part of salary for retirement benefits, plus commission on turnover. Okay. Okay, commission on turnover, percentage commission on turnover. Okay. Fixed turnover is not to be taken. Should be a percentage wise commission on turnover. Okay. Okay. This is your meaning of salary for HRA. So now let us see, go back to the problem. ठीक है, तो क्या बोल रहे हैं? Okay, so X, resident of Ajmer, receives 48,000 as basic salary during the previous year 21-22. First thing is he is a resident of Ajmer. Okay, so we know now that it is 40% in point C. Okay, so next, in addition, he gets 4,800 DA forming part of basic salary, 7% commission on sales made by him. Okay, and sale they have given is 86,000, right? So they have given what his salary constitutes. One is 48,000 is basic salary. Okay, in addition, they are getting 4,800 as DA. Can you tell me about 4,800 is annual amount or monthly amount?
Annual.
Annual? It's only 4,800, no?
Nothing is given, it is annual.
Okay, fine. Good. Excellent. Okay. So if nothing is given, take it as annual. If it is per month, they will give as per month. Only then take per month. If that per month word is not there, PM or per month, take it as annual. Even if it is 480, had they given only 480, still take it as annual. Okay. Don't get confused with the quantum of the amount. Okay. So this is salary. This is DA. Okay, commission is 7% on this. Okay, so percentage wise commission, that's also fine for us, right? And then HRA which he has actually received is 6,000. This is HRA receipt. Okay, and then next is rent paid. Okay. Rent paid is 5,800. Okay, again this is what? Annual rent. Okay, it's annual rent, and determine the quantum of exempted house rent allowance. Okay, we have to see how much is the exempted house rent allowance. See what they have asked, that is also important. Okay, if they are asking only exempted house rent and house rent allowance, then you will just find exemption based on this and just give the answer. If they are asking you taxable house rent allowance, taxable, then what you will do, you will again calculate this, but on top just put the HRA amount, deduct the exemption, and then show the taxable amount. Okay, that's how you will present based on what they have asked. Okay, so right, so here apart from this, okay, right, so let's see now. So here basically, you know, the way it has been solved is your taxable house rent allowance has been shown here. Okay, right? So, but if in exam something like this comes, okay, if they're asking you exempted house rent allowance, then what you have to do? You have to just do this part, okay? You don't have to do this, like put this and then see the exemption and then the tax, give the taxable part, okay? Right. So let us now see the computation. Fine. So now house rent allowance received is 6,000. Okay. Now list of the following is exempted under section 1013A. Okay. So here, what is actual? First is actual amount received 6,000. Okay. Then 40% of salary. So for 40% of salary and this rent paid minus 10% of salary. For these two, we require salary, correct? So this and this require salary. So let us compute salary. Here your basic salary is 48,000, correct? Basic salary is 48,000, DA is 4,800. Commission is 7% on turnover, which is given, correct? To compute, it will be 6020. Add all three, it will be our salary for the purpose of HRA. Okay, 58,820, right? 58 into 820 is the salary. So point B will be what? 40% of 58,820. Okay, which will come to, you can do it in your calculators. It will come to 23,528. Okay, 40% of salary. And now next is rent paid over 10% of salary. So what is 10% of salary? This is your salary. 10%, remove this zero. It is 5882. Okay. And rent paid is 5,800 only. So this is more than rent paid. So if it comes to zero or negative, then just take it as zero. Okay. Only if it comes to it as positive, you have to take the amount. Right? If it comes as negative, take it as zero. Okay, so now because one of these is zero, then the lowest will be zero in any case, correct? Zero will be lower than other figures. So which is why here now he doesn't have any exemption actually. Okay, least of the three is this zero. So this is what less minimum is exempted. Okay, so this comes out as nil. Okay, then 6,000 minus 0 is 6,000. This is your taxable HRA. Okay, now if you see these 3 points, ठीक है, ये समझ में आया कैसे किया हमने, ठीक है? तो यहाँ पे बस एक ही चीज है, जो आप सैलरी कंप्यूट करोगे वो HRA सैलरी आपको याद रखना है बस। और ये हम कई बार रिपीट कर चुके हैं, आगे भी और चीजों में आपका HRA सैलरी आएगा। तो ये सैलरी, तो ये मीनिंग ऑफ सैलरी HRA वाला जो है, ये मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट। लिटरली ऐसा कि कभी अगर आपको याद नहीं आ रहा है कोई मीनिंग ऑफ सैलरी, एग्जाम में अगर याद नहीं आ रहा है, तो जस्ट बेट ऑन HRA सैलरी. Okay, if you are not able to remember any meaning of salary, suppose, okay, then always go for HRA salary, because in most 80% cases this will be the meaning of salary. Okay, the chances of it coming out right will be more. Right, so now if you see this, what HRA exemption depends on what? Okay, one is your salary. Okay, one, it depends on salary. If salary changes, then these three will change, correct? Because 40% of salary and 10% of salary will change, right? So I'm talking about that aapka ek, you have got 1 year. Okay, if you have, let us say we are talking about 2021-22. Okay, your previous year. Okay, PY is this. Now in PY, say for example, you can divide it into 2 blocks, say 6 months and 6 months. Okay, and in this 6 months, all what are the main things which you have to see? One is salary. Okay, salary is unchanged. Salaries, what are the components? Basic salary, DA, commission. So all components must be unchanged. Okay. Your HRA allowance should not have changed. Correct? What allowance you are receiving, that should not change. Okay. And then the city in which you are staying, okay, that should not change. If city changes, it becomes 40 or 50%, right? And next thing is your rented accommodation should not change. Then your rent paid can change. If these things change, if all these things are same, then for entire 12 months you can do one computation. Otherwise, if it is changing, for example, for 6 months, you have changed the place, your rent has changed. Rent is different here, and here it is rent one, let us say. Okay, then compute exemption separately for 6 months here and 6 months here. Okay, for example, now if I'll give you another example, if say for 4 months, 4 months and 4 months. Okay, here nothing has changed, everything. Here just rent has changed, so calculate it separately. Okay, here uh, let us say your rent is same now. Rent what you are paying is same, but you have moved to another city which has different percentage. That is, you have moved from metro to non-metro. Okay. Okay. Then again, you will have to compute it separately. Okay. So whenever any of the components change, just compute it for that block separately. Okay. So iska example hum dekhenge. We'll see one example for this where you will understand how to do it. Okay. So here it is. Compute taxable HRA of Mr. Abhijit. Now here they are asking taxable HRA. Okay. Basic salary is 5,000 per month. DA is 2,000 per month. HRA 4,000 per month. Rent paid is 4,000 per month in Pune. Okay. Be very careful about what is per month and what is not per month, because your entire answer will change, right? So should be very careful while reading the problem. Okay. So here city is Pune, right? So it is 40%. Correct? So now basic salary is 5,000 per month, DA is 2,000, HRA is 4,000 per month. Okay. And is there any turnover or something is given in this problem? Nothing is there, right? Although it will be HRA salary. In HRA salary, the third point is redundant here. Okay. ठीक है. यहाँ पे हमको ये नहीं दिया गया है कहीं पे भी. ओके. आपका जो टर्नओवर है, तो कमीशन ऑन टर्नओवर अचीव्ड बाय द एम्प्लॉय, वो वाला पॉइंट यहाँ पे रिलेवेंट नहीं है. तो यहाँ पे देखिए क्या दिया गया है यार. सबसे पहले तो प्रीवियस ईयर स्टार्ट हो रहा है हमारा 1/4 से. ओके, 1/4 से. बट ऑन 1/7 देयर इज एन इंक्रीमेंट इन बेसिक सैलरी. देखिए वन कंपोनेंट हैज चेंज नाउ, बेसिक सैलरी on 1/7. So this means for 4, 5, 6. 4 is what? April, May, June. Okay, you will have to compute deduction separately. Okay, and then because in 7 one component is changing. Now next they are saying on 1/10/2021, employee hired a new flat in Kolkata. Starting May it was Pune here, see, correct? And now it is Kolkata. The city is it is a movement from non-metro to metro, correct? So again for 1/10 onwards we'll have to compute differently. So यानी यहाँ पे क्या बोलेंगे? Here 7, 8, 9, these 3 months. Again you have to compute differently. 4, 5, 6 differently, 7, 8, 9 differently. Now on 10 he hired a new flat in Kolkata at the same rent as previous. Okay. Then last is on 1/1/2022 he purchased his own flat. So हमको मालूम है कि if you have own flat where you are working, then it will be fully taxable, correct? So for January, February, March 2022, there will be no HRA exemption. Okay. So now how to compute this problem? Okay. So first, let us just see the salary computation. Okay. In this thing, we do not have that commission on turnover. Okay. So salary will be only basic plus DA. Okay. Can you tell me, is this DA if forming part of salary for retirement benefits, or it is entire DA? This DA, is this entire DA or forming part of salary for retirement benefits? Here because nothing is given, okay, nothing is given, then you have to take it as entire thing is forming part of salary for retirement benefits. And for HRA, we want DA if, always remember, if forming part of salary for retirement benefits, right? So basically here for salary, you will take 5,000 plus 2,000, 7,000, okay, right? So HRA is 4,000. So let's start from the first month, first 3 months, 4, 5, 6, okay? हम चालू कर रहे हैं अप्रैल से, अप्रैल मई जून, right? For April, May, June, we have to take salary as 7,000, correct? For 3 months, correct? 7 3 is a 21,000 in all. Okay, HRA is 4,000, 4 3 is a 12,000. Okay, chali, let's see. Right, so taxable of house rent allowance. What is received for 3 months? 12,000. Correct, 4,000 per month was HRA for 3 months, 12,000, right? Now, next we'll see how much is exempted. Okay. So how much is exempted? Actual amount received is 12,000. 40% of salary, correct? In Pune he was, and salary is 5,000 plus 2,000, 7,000 into 3, that is 21,000, correct? 21,000 for 40%. 40% of 21,000. That will give you this much. If any point is not clear, feel free to stop me, okay? Next is rent paid minus 10% of salary. So rent paid was also 4,000 per month, right? Given. So this is going to be 4 3s are 12,000 minus 10%, 10% of salary. Okay. So 12,000 minus what will be 10% of salary? Here we have computed salary, right? Here is salary for 3 months already we done. 7,000 into 3, 21,000. 21,000 ka 10% is 2,100. Okay. So it is 12,000 minus 2,100. 9,900. Least of the three is what? Least of the three is 8,400. Just put this into this minus this, you will get this in the outer column. The first 3 months exemption you have worked out. Any doubt till here? So we'll now move to the next one now. Okay. Next one is this part. Okay. Next is this part. So here everything is same. His basic salary has increased. That's all. Okay. Other than that, everything is same. Which is why here it was 12,000. Here also it is 12,000. Okay. But here basic salary has changed from 5,000 to 6,000 here. That's all. All other things are same. In this was coming as 7,000, so it will be 8,000 into 3. So 24,000. It will become 24,000. 40% will increase, that's why 9,600. 24,000 was the salary, 10% is 2,400 here, correct? So this will become 12,000 minus 2,400, which is 9,600. Least of the three, 9,600. This minus 9,600 gives you 2,400. Done. This is your second one. Now what happened in the third one? So the employee hired a new flat in Kolkata at the same rent, okay, as he was posted to Kolkata. Okay, so here also rent has not changed. He's paying the same rent in Kolkata, but he has hired a flat in Kolkata now. Now in second and third, okay, let us see second and third. You have to do this at your home once, okay? Unless you do, you will not get that confidence just by seeing. Okay, so this one we did just now. Now that in the next one, this is the next one, okay? Next 3 months, 10, 11, 12. So here if you see, nothing has changed. Rent paid is also same, okay? See, this is same, this is same, okay? And see this part, no? This part is the same. This is the same. Salary has not changed. So here it was 24,000. Here also your salary is 24,000. Okay, but the only change here is this was 40%. Here it becomes 50%. This is the only change in this part compared to previous one. So just take 24,000 into 50% will become 12,000. So there is only change in this figure, and the last figure also is the same. Okay, because salary has not changed. So, and rent paid has not changed. So rent paid in excess of 10% of salary will not change. Only one change was there in this, that in point B, instead of 40%, you have taken 50%. Rest is the same. Okay. So now what will happen here? The third one, least of the three. Okay, least of these three is 9,600. It comes here, and this minus 9,600. Okay, this is the taxable amount outside. Clear? And in the last one, what we said that it's going to be fully taxable because he bought his own house January, February, March. Okay, so that's why here it is fully taxable. Whole 12,000, 4,000 into 3 is fully taxable. Now the outer column, just get total the outer column, all of this, you will get 2,400. That's your taxable house rent allowance. Okay, this is how it has to be calculated. ठीक है, समझ में आया? बस आपको एंड में ये सब आउटर कॉलम में जो हमने टैक्सेबल पार्ट लेके गए बाहर, है ना, तो उसको आपको ऐड कर देना है. तो ध्यान ये रखना कि क्या पूछा है एग्जाम में. अगर एग्जाम्शन पूछा है तो बस एग्जाम्शन बता दिए हो गया. टैक्सेबल पूछा है तो आपको हाउस रेंट अलाउंस ऊपर लिखना पड़ेगा, एग्जाम्शन लिखना पड़ेगा, लेस एग्जाम्शंस, एंड इन द एंड यू हैव टू शो टैक्सेबल पार्ट लाइक दिस, जैसे हमने यहाँ पे किया है. ठीक है, तो पिछले प्रॉब्लम में भी ऐसे ही किया गया स्टडी मटेरियल में, लेकिन आपको एग्जाम्शन पूछ रहा है तो आपको टैक्सेबल बताने की जरूरत नहीं. ठीक है, एक स्टेप आपका कम हो जाता है. फाइन. सो दिस इज so we end your house rent allowance section here. Okay, and after this, next is special allowances exempt under 1014. So we had seen there are two types of special allowance. One is this one. Okay, one is this one, exempt up to the amount actually spent. Okay, so here what I said, whatever you spend, that much will be exempt. That is, allowances. Okay, allowance is 10,000 and you spent 8,000. 8,000 will be exempt. Taxable will be 2,000. Okay, same simple thing here. right? Whereas in the second one which we'll see, you will be given a statutory amount, okay, that this is exempt. So just take that as exempt. For example, the second one I'm saying, this one, this is what you have to do. The second one, if it is given as per statute that say 5,000 is exempt, they have given. As per you will have rules, we will see that. Based on that, you will know. If as per those rules, 5,000 is exempt, it will not matter how much you are spending, 8,000 or 2,000. Even if you are not spending anything, you will get this 5,000 exemption in the second one. Okay, second part. Now this is the first one, which is 1014 subclause 1. Okay, that is 1014 subclause 2. Here it is rule 2BB1, it is 2BB2. That is okay. So now here, let's see allowances what are the things which come in this allowance. Allowances not in the nature of perquisite, okay, and spent wholly and exclusively for performance of official duties. Okay, so for this, it will be exempt up to the amount actually spent. This is the condition. It is not in the nature of perquisite, because if it is perquisite, it will go to perquisite section. Okay, so this is which is not in the nature of perquisite and spent only for official duties. Okay, so what are these allowances? There are 6 allowances which you have to remember. Okay, so this is one is your transfer allowance. Okay, transfer allowance or travel allowance. It's granted to meet the cost of travel on tour or transfer, including transfer, packing, and transportation of personal effects. Personal effect means when you get transferred, you will send your all your items, right, to another cities, correct? Maybe like you are moving your house or something like that. Okay, so that is transportation of personal effects, that is covered. And your all costs, so in this travel allowance, it is uh, your cost of moving to the new place. Okay, that is from here, say from city A to city B you are moving. Okay, city A to city B you are moving. So what will be covered is, one, you will send all your you will move your house, so you'll send your house by transport or travels, whatever, right? That will be covered, number one. Number two, your personal movement, your house to station, you're traveling, and then from station to by train you will travel to the other place, and from here you'll get down at the station, and from here by taxi or something you will travel to your place of reporting. So this cost will be covered in this. Okay. This is called as transfer or traveling allowance. Okay. And then next is daily allowance received on tour or period of journey in connection with transfer. Now what happens is, here we saw your transfer. Okay. After transfer, you have reached place B. Okay. Now say for the roughly I'm saying, say for the first 2 months or so. Okay. First 2 months or somewhere like that, you will not have a vehicle there, correct? So you might have to commute using auto or cab, correct, which will be costlier, right? So because you have been displaced to another place, till you settle down, you will have some higher costs, correct? So for that, daily allowance is given. So daily allowance will be given till when you are being affected by that. Okay, so daily allowance is for your increased cost of living because you have gone to a new place. Okay, so that's why these two are related, you can say. Okay, next is conveyance allowance. Okay, this conveyance spent on official duties is exempt. No exemption if employer provides free conveyance. Now, commuting between office and residence is not conveyance. Okay.
So,
Priyanka.
sir, can you explain daily allowance once again?
Yes, I'll explain daily allowance. Okay, just let me complete this, then I'll probably connect these three together for you. Okay, so it will make more sense.
Okay, sir.
So now, so conveyance allowance is next. So conveyance allowance जो है, conveyance allowance is not moving from home to office. Okay, so home to office we go, right? Commute every day. So this is not conveyance allowance. You have to go every day. You will go to office, correct? And you come back to home. This you will be doing. Okay. So this is not called as conveyance allowance. Okay. So it comes under transport allowance, not conveyance allowance. Okay. So then what is conveyance allowance? Conveyance allowance is many people will go to office. From office, they'll have that marketing kind of job, and from office they have to go, they'll go here, they have to go several places, and they will come back to office. Correct? So movement for their official work. This is conveyance allowance. Okay. So this movement is your conveyance. Okay. Not this, not home to office. Okay. So now this is done. And then, okay, commuting between office and residence is not conveyance. Okay. Yeah. Next is helper. So if you need a helper for official duties, then and you're getting an allowance, then whatever work you are taking out for your official purpose, that is exempt. All these are whatever expense is there for official purpose, it is to that extent fully exempt. Next is academic research professional development. Okay, so if you are a part of some research or you're doing some training, and also whatever money you get, to that extent it is exempt. Okay, it's called as academic research or professional development allowance, right? Last is uniform allowance. This is for purchase and maintenance of uniform. Okay, so in many cases people have uniform. Okay, they have to say, for example, bus drivers, conductors, right? Many people, they have to wear uniform to office. So in that case, whatever allowance is given and you actually spend in purchase and maintenance of uniform, that is exempt, right? So here just remember, dress allowance is fully taxable. Okay, dress allowance is something else. So dress allowance is, say if you are traveling to foreign country or somewhere, so many companies will give some allowance to you so that you can buy, buy some dress which is suited to that condition, right? Because there people dress up differently. All that allowance, or in general some dress allowance you get. This is basically seen as for private purpose. Okay, and that dress will remain with you after that purpose. It's not returnable, definitely. So dress allowance is fully taxable. Yeah, uniform and dress are not same, right? So now if so these are the 6 allowance. ठीक है, तो आप लोग इसको याद रख सकते हो जैसे भी, if you want to, ठीक है, just combine this because these 6 are very important. ये आपको याद रह गया ना, तो आगे वाला इसमें कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं जाएगा. रीजन बीइंग कि आपको मालूम है कि ये 6 में से जो नहीं है वो उसी में जाना है नेचुरली. ओके, सो इफ these 6 are very important. Okay, it's also important for your 115 BAC. That is when you calculate tax as per new regime, right? And in new regime, most of the deductions and all are not allowed. Very few are allowed. So this is allowed. This is one of that which is allowed. That's why this part is very important. So you can just remember it. Okay, जैसे भी आप you can connect it. So now just to repeat it quickly, one is transfer allowance. Okay, transfer is when you get transferred. Okay, so let me say, okay, I am transferred from A to B. A to B is one city. Okay, A is different city, B is different city. So now, so I have started from here. First, I have booked some travels, okay, and I've sent all my house stuff to that city to move my house, okay. That I will get, okay. That will be covered under this. Second thing is, I am from me and my family. I'm going moving to station by cab. From there, say on rail, flight, whatever, I'm moving to another this city, city B. So I've got down at the station or airport, whatever, taken a cab, and I have reached the place where I am put up. Okay. So this expense plus whatever travels expense, I'm sending all my furniture and all my house items to that city. So for these things, you have got this transfer allowance. Okay, that is for this thing. Now from here itself, you say now you have reached here. From next day you have to go to office. Next day you have to go to office. Correct. So if you were in the same state, I mean, if you were in A city, okay, you might have a bike or something. For commuting, let us say, you will need for whole month, you will spend, let us say, 2000 rupees for commuting. But in the new place, you will have to take auto or something. You don't know what is cheaper there, correct? You might have to spend 5000 here for the same thing, correct? So this extra 3000, no? This extra 3000, right? For this, you get daily allowance because you are in a new place. Okay, so you have to spend little more in everything, whatever you are doing, because you don't know the place. Okay, that will hold good for the first 1 or 2 months, let us say, or 3 months. Once you get acclimatized, then you will know what are the cheaper means of transport and all that. It's not just for transport, for everything, even for eating. You might eat at a costlier place in the beginning, correct? Because you don't know. So that's why daily allowance is given, okay, to reimburse you that additional cost which you have to spend at a new place. Okay, clear? ठीक है प्रियंका, समझ गया?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and then you have conveyance allowance. Third thing which I said is, I said that when you go from office to home and home to office, okay, you're going from home to office. This is one thing. Okay, you're going from here till here. Now, after you reach office, say for many marketing or field job people, they have to go around it. When they started here, from here to here to here, whole day they'll be moving here to here. And at the end of the day, they'll come back to office. And then from here, they'll come to their home. Okay, so this movement, no, this circle, okay, this is their conveyance allowance. It is for this. Okay, so naturally, this is being given for office purpose. So you'll get exemption only to the extent of office purpose. Okay, so this is your 10.14.1 rule 2BB1. So I'll just take you to our first chapter. I told you that I'll show that to you. 115 BAC. Okay, so I'm not showing you the complete computation, but where I said that this part is there in that. See, this is your basic concepts. Here we saw your tax rates, correct? This is the tax rates table. And then we saw new regime or 115 BAC. 115 BAC is also called as new regime. In that, what we saw, what was the difference is that here for every 2500 you had a slab. So this and this is fine, same as before. Now the third one, let me mark it in red. Okay. Let me mark it in red. This is see 5,000 to 7,500. There for 5 lakh to 7 lakh 50,000. Okay. There it was 5 lakh to 10,000 straight away 20%. Okay. Here and see next 7 lakh 50,000 to 10 lakh is 15%. This is how it is moving 5% up. So definitely it looks beneficial, but you will not get any deductions here. Okay, certain exemptions and deductions are not available. So what is available that we need to know? So that I will tell you gradually. I'll tell you. See, this is what is not claimable. Okay, under your new regime. Okay. So this is basically one. Here. Now, not claimable. There are most of the things which you cannot claim. Okay. There are most of the allowances which you cannot claim. All taxable allowances which are there, no? Which we saw there, nothing you can claim. See here, other special allowances, 1014. As you can see. Entire 1014 you cannot claim. Except some. Okay. So these things we will see later. Okay. But here most important for you is this, which is available. Very few is available. Just remember what is available and leave out the rest. Okay. So what is not available is not an exhaustive list. So it's a waste of time in seeing that. See here in this case, you've got transport for a specially able person, conveyance allowance, cost of travel and tour on chapter, daily allowance. Okay. All these things actually are available. Whatever you get to the extent of this thing, uniform allowance is not there. Okay. But whatever is there to the extent of expenses you get allowances, those things are available. Okay. So just wanted to show this to you. We will have a detailed discussion on this later, but just because you don't forget it, I just thought, yeah, I'll just tell you. Okay. We're not discussing it fully as of now. Got it? So which is why this is important. As it is useful in many things. These 6 you should remember by heart. Others it's okay. Like if you have these 6, then you can somehow manage with the others. Right. So then right. So next is now if you come to the second one, 1014 2. Okay. So if one is children's education allowance, 100 per month per child up to a maximum of 2 children. Okay. So you will get an 100 per month per child is what is the exemption you will get. Okay. Whatever you spend, you will get this much only as exemption, because the amount is given here, doesn't depend on the on how much you have expended, right? So this is one, and then hostel allowance 300 per month per child up to a maximum of 2 children. So we have got 2 problems for this, and then it will become more clear. Okay. And here whatever children meaning is, okay, includes adopted child and stepchild. So adopted child, what you have adopted legally, and stepchild is like many times people marry someone who already have a children, correct? So that child becomes your stepchild. ठीक है? अगर आपने किसी से शादी की है जिनका ऑलरेडी कोई बच्चा है, ठीक है, वो आपका stepchild कहलाएगा, right? But not illegitimate child and grandchild. Grandchild नहीं, और illegitimate child यानी जो भी आपका है अगर नाजायज बच्चा है, so for that you will not get. Okay. The next is your, ये बहुत ही important point. It's a very very important point. See, child may be a major or minor child. Okay. It's possible that you're talking about a child who is 60 years old because the father is alive, is 85 years old. Okay. So यहाँ पे child need not be a minor. Okay. So if a dad is claiming allowance and he has a child, whatever be his age, okay, he can claim it. Right. Now this is transport allowance for commuting between residence and place of duty. जब हम घर से ऑफिस जाते हैं और वापस आते हैं, उसका ये है. Okay. Called as transport allowance. So now there is no exemption for anyone. Okay, only for blind, deaf and dumb, orthopedically handicapped. For them, there is an exemption of 3,200 per month. Others, there is no exemption. Okay. Remember, be careful. Wherever it is per month, be careful. Okay. And then allowance received by transport employees, or this is called as truck driver allowance. Okay. Now, or allowance received by transport employees. It can also be a bus driver. It can be okay. Someone working in a transport system has to go from city to city, and he has to meet his personal expenditure during the course of running it. Now, this is similar to daily allowance, correct? Daily allowance, because you are in a new place, you have to spend more. Same can be for truck drivers, bus drivers. They have gone to a new place, then they might have to spend a little more, right? When till the time they are there, right? So, which is why this allowance is given to them, okay, to meet their personal expenditure, right? So this is exemption is 70% of allowance or 10,000 per month, whichever is lower. Remember, this is 10,000 per month, okay? 70% of allowance or 10,000 per month, whichever is lower, right? Here is, see the point, if receives daily allowance, then above is fully taxable, correct? Because this is serving the purpose of daily allowance only. You are getting two allowances, you will not get exemption for both. So if daily allowance you are getting, then this will be fully taxable. Okay. अच्छा, यहाँ पे मैंने एक रेड में आपको ये दिया है. Okay, I've just given no need to memorize the amount of exemption for the below till number 20. So 11 to 20, you don't have to remember these amounts which has been given. Okay, just need to know the allowances, that's all, right? इसके लिए we have an appendix given also with various rates. Now there are different rates for different states, there are groups of states. Okay, all those things you did not memorize. Okay, so चलिए, so यहाँ से हम we will continue tomorrow. Okay, so I'll wrap up your class now, right? So we'll continue tomorrow now. ठीक है? Any questions or something? Any questions?
No, sir.
Okay, fine. We'll continue tomorrow. Okay.
So tomorrow at what timing?
7 o'clock. Tomorrow
Okay,
will be 7. Okay. And on Sunday also it will be 7, but 7 to 10:30 it will be.
on Sunday, na? Tomorrow it will be 7 to 8:30.
Tomorrow, no, tomorrow also will be like this only. I will end up at 8:10, 8:15 like that. Okay. Because I have got another class, which is today it is at 9. But normally, I mean, the time slotted is 8:30 for that. And that will be on that is on Friday and Saturday. Okay, which is why for Friday and Saturday this will be little shorter your class, but we'll make it up on Sunday where it will be a longer class.
Okay, sir.
Okay, okay, fine. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.